that is standing between you to a dilemma of how do we solve this together. But you are together now facing the problem instead of the problem being between the two of you.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
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 So now I want to go back to Sherry. Sherry, are you
Juanita.
still there?
Juanita.
Right.
Juanita.
Hi, Juanita. Are you still there?
I am. That was very helpful.
What did you get from it?
Well, I think what resonated most with me was when Juanita talked about really wanting and caring to close the cupboards, and that he mattered to her, and just opening up his heart to the fact that she's dealing, or I'm dealing with, so many distractions, and
Yes.
it's not intentional.
Yes.
That I'm doing this, because you know what? It's going to happen again, and it's a
Yeah.
big trigger for him. So I'll try this.
Thank you. I want to say one more thing, which is whenever we, for whatever reason, need to say no to another person, usually we forget to say that we wish to be able to say yes. And truthfully, not just, kind of to placate the other person, but to, for example, we say to people, we are on the phone and we say, I gotta go now. And we don't really say, I wish I could stay on the phone longer to talk with you. We don't bring into the conversation the wanting for the connection, the wanting for the contribution, the wanting for whatever it is that we want. So thank you, Juanita. I'm glad this was helpful to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. And right now I want to move to a scenario very quickly, just to get started on it. We can't really do it full justice, but we can begin a scenario that came to us in the email. It involves a mother with 3 children, 11, 8, and 2. And the 8-year-old, watch what the 8-year-old does.
I hate him. I hate my brother. I don't want to hang out with him. I don't want to be around him. Why do you make me share a room with him?
Because that's how many rooms we have in the house. Okay?
Okay, so this is what happens. And the mother wrote to me, desperate, what is it that she can do? Because this is not just a conversation that happens between the two of them. The 2 other children are witnesses to the conversation, and she's beside herself, and she's a single mother. So, and some of these issues come up in any kind of family where there are multiple children. So what are some of the basic things that you can do? I want to just go over that, and maybe we'll come back to it at another show. But the first thing is that you need to resource yourself, to have an opportunity to be by yourself. And indeed, the mother was aware of that, wanting to find, well, she calls it time in instead of time out. Time to be alone and empathize with herself. Really get connected with what's going on for you. The second thing that is really important is to figure out a way to get alone time with the child. It is not something that's going to be easy to resolve, trying to mediate between him and his older brother when there's a 2-year-old who is probably upset about there being conflict. So some way, maybe leave the 11-year-old with the 2-year-old, but some way to stay just the 2 of you. Then the third thing is, because one of the other things is the child often will happen, children don't like what sounds like empathy. They want to be understood, but they don't want it to sound like something that the mother does. So unless you can really, genuinely have a curiosity about what the child is going through, it's better to just listen, even without saying anything. Because just your presence without countering him gives him space. Because in the moment that you start speaking and countering him, there's no space for him. Then he knows that you're not really listening to him. If he can be heard, then that can be helpful. And then the last thing is to find a way in small bits to express what you want for him. what you want for you too, what you want for the family. So I am wondering if there is, if you'd like to try like one of those lines.
Mm-hmm. Nudie, I want to hear a little bit more about what's going on for you right now.
He's a jerk. That's what's wrong with me, with him, and with me. I just hate it. That's what's wrong. And you just force us to be in the same space as each other all the time.
So I want to check with you. Did you experience an invitation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I saw it. It was all over your face. There was a softening. It's like I could tell that you were making room for Nud to express. And if you are able to maintain that stance instead of don't call your brother a jerk, then that will run its course within a short amount of time. And then it will go to the deeper layer of what is it that is really going on there that's making it so tough for him. Once you know what that is, then you are one step closer to being able to solve the situation. Anything else about this? Anything that you have encountered about this that you, any questions or comments about this particular
Well, it just seems very, very tricky.
Yeah.
To be able to manage really letting him know that I care through all of the times that I have to tell him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I'm doing the rest of the day. I'm telling him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so how is he going to trust that I really, in this moment, want to hear what's going on?
So one of the key things is to separate out the moment of the conflict from the moment of connection. In the moment when he's screaming and yelling, that is going to be the least likely moment for you to be able to connect with him. So in that moment, just let it happen. In another moment, when you have special time, that's when you can bring it up and talk with him about it and bring it like, how do we work with this? And at this point, we're coming to the end of our time together. I was very excited to have the variety of situations both in here and through people calling or emailing. I'm very, very grateful to the people who called and to you guys for being able to play all of this. If you liked what you saw today and are moved to want to learn the tools, call our organization, Bay Area Nonviolent Communication, or look at our website for training opportunities with me and others. Our contact information is at the end of this program. Also, we want to hear your feedback. Please send us your comments or scenarios you'd like us to role play to conflicthotline@baynvc.org. Before we close, I want to thank again the Oren, Phoenix, Newt, and Sigal for playing with us. Was it fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also want to thank the crew, the director, and production people, all of whom are volunteering to support the program, and of course, the studio for use of the space and for their support. And my biggest gratitude goes to the people who called and made this show rich and meaningful to me and hopefully to all of the viewers. You hope you'll tune in again next month. We'll be on the air the first Thursday of every month at 7:30 p.m. for another hour of the Conflict Hotline. I'm your host, Miki Kashtan, and I hope to see you then. Good night.
Together we can turn heaven from
Now
hell.
we can talk.
Together we can turn heaven from hell. Together we can turn heaven